Okay, I'm gonna go. Well, thank you very much everyone for being here to listen to wonderful Alejandra speaking about her great work. I'm not gonna tell too much about Ale because she will tell you all about her story and background, so I'm not gonna bother you too much with my own kind of weird interpretation of that. But one couple of things. First of all, thank you for being here supporting Imperfecta. As many of you know, Imperfecta is specifically focused on supporting women artists and underrepresented creatives, both local and international. And so I really cherish all those that support us and our mission. Second thing that I wanted to say is that how glad I am that I've met Alejandra. I hope this will be the beginning of a wonderful collaboration that will last. Alejandra not only is a wonderful person, if you know her, you know what I mean, and if you don't know her, you should. But also really, I admire her work because of the focus and dedication to looking at fashion industry with a different perspective from the traditional one, which is very much based on consumption and a lot of waste material. And sure, we can live in a world where maybe less of that happens. And so I really love it because I personally, for many, many years, have been dedicated to not purchasing new clothing. Both myself and my family, we buy secondhand pretty much almost everything except for underwear and shoes, of course, because that's kind of creepy. But that aside, we are really dedicated to that, for that purpose. And so for me, it's very exciting to see that there are alternatives to buy secondhand. There is also a creative alternative, which is to actually reutilize materials and fabric and rethink them, about them, with a different eye, with a creative eye, right? And so that gives to people like me, and hopefully to more people, an even more, bigger incentive to try to not feed too much in that overconsumption of fashion, and looking at fashion as something that you should not let go because of environmental concerns, but you can just look at it from a different perspective. And so that's why I think Alejandra's work is very important. We're very lucky to have her here in Portland. And then of course, like when Ale and I spoke months ago about the possibility of this installation, we had ideas, we brainstormed things over a glass of wine, and now it's wonderful that we managed to make it happen. And I hope that you'll enjoy the exhibition if you haven't seen it yet, the installation, but also I invite you to say thank you to Ale for giving us her time today.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Daria, for giving me this opportunity. So excited to talk about myself and my journey. Of course, I'm a little bit nervous and when I'm nervous, my English doesn't want to be here. So just bear with me, please. Well, I'm Alejandra. I'm from Mexico. I born in Monterrey, close to Texas. Moved here 20 years ago. My background is not in fashion, actually, it's in early childhood education. So I work with kids, and then I become the director. Then when I moved here to Portland, I taught Spanish. Thanks to Marie. Marie was the first one who gave me that opportunity. So I was teaching Spanish. I still teaching Spanish, actually. And fashion came to me because of my girl. I think when I had my first kid, I didn't want to teach anymore Spanish, so I just dropped the classes and to dedicate my time for her, right? And when she born, at the hospital, they gave us, those hats that I didn't like it at all. So I was like, oh my God, no, there is no way my kid is gonna wear that awful hat. So I need to make something for her. I start dreaming, actually, about the hat, make the hat, and people start asking about those hats. So that's why my first business born, it was called Muluk. Muluk means moon in Mayan language. And those hats were popular because they were very soft and full cover. So most of the people who was facing cancer or had alopecia used those hats. So that was my first business. After 10 years of working on Muluk, my business never grew because obviously I was dedicating my time, especially for my kids, and then Muluk, right? So 10 years after, I was like, oh my God, I need to say goodbye to Muluk, but I don't want to. I really want to continue making this, sewing, what is coming, and I knew something was coming. I could feel something inside myself, and everybody was like, Ale, just find a job or do something, and I was like, no, there is something, I know something else is coming. So I start listening to myself. I start, just questioning, what's the point of my life? What is my purpose? What is my journey here? And in that time, I was facing so many things. I was 40 years old, questioning myself, starting to believing a little bit more in myself. I was living my marriage. My 2 kids were young, and again I was like, okay, something is coming. What is it? And again, I start dreaming about dresses, pattern makings. So I was like, well, maybe there is something there that I need to pay attention. So I start making my first dress. Obviously, I didn't know how to sew. I took some classes when I was little, but I didn't like them at all. So I was like, well, let's make just this dress and let's see what happened. Tried to make the dress, didn't work at all. Following night, dream about the dresses. So my dreams were calling me to do something else, right? So make the dress again, didn't work, trial and error, until I decided to join Portland Fashion Institute. Thank you to RAC. Actually, RAC gave me a grant, so I was able to study at the Portland Fashion Institute. And because I took a class there at the Portland Fashion Institute, I was invited to be in a fashion show, presenting just a piece or 2 pieces. So I was like, yeah, let's make those pieces. Let's go to a fashion show, present those 2 pieces, and it was mind-blowing. It was like, oh my goodness, this is my life. I need to make more. I need to create my line. I love fashion. This is amazing. So in that time, I decided just to apply for another fashion show and apply to another fashion show. So in the same time, in the same year, I applied to 2 fashion shows. I was accepted. I didn't have any collection, but I was already in. So I had to create something else, right? In one of them, I was competing with 6 more designers, and I won. I won the Judge Award and also the People's Choice. So it was the very first year that the same designer won the 2 awards. So it was beautiful. Yeah. So obviously that took me to all of this. That was in 2018. Then in 2020, I decided to open my first store. Obviously, COVID came. It was, yes, it was stressful and everything, but again, something inside of me was like, just atrévete. Atrévete means there. So every time, atrévete, you're gonna do it. Opened my first shop at 2020, 2021. I was able to move my store to a bigger space, not because I was doing well. it was because I wasn't doing well that I had to create something else to atreverme again to something different. So I opened this bigger space to represent more designers, more artists with jewelry and everything. Then in 2022, I moved here in downtown to a bigger space, and I was doing the same thing that you're doing, hosting the first Thursday, opening art exhibitions, fashion exhibitions, and everything, but here in downtown. So downtown wasn't doing well. I had to close my store, and now I'm working from home. So I have my, my studio there in my home, so everybody can go and visit me. And I do have some of my pieces here in another store in downtown too. And yeah, so that's part of my journey. How do you say this? My style, I try to fuse, or I fuse actually the Mexican style with the Japanese style. My inspiration became because of the huipil, which is worn in Oaxaca, Mexico, South Mexico. They use it's just like a rectangle fabric, and it looks a little bit of the kimono too. So that's why I try to fuse the kimono style, the Japanese style, with the Mexican style. And actually, when I was taking classes at the Portland Fashion Institute, one of the teachers was talking about Japanese designers, how they pay close attention to the body, to the space, to the fabric, and then all of that becomes the garment. So the piece is already, complete when you pay attention to those details. And I try to pay attention also to those details. It's not just, fashion, it's not just fabric, it's not, I actually don't like, when I started with all of this, with the fashion and fashion shows and everything, I was like, oh, okay, I love this, but I don't like how fashion moves so quickly. And how you can, as soon as you finish one collection, you need to create another one, and I don't like that. And I actually was questioning, is fashion for me or not? Because I don't want to be in this space where everybody is like, oh yes, which one is the next? Which one? What is the style? I don't like to follow the style. I don't like to follow the seasons. No, fashion could be just something meaningful, something, if you have a fabric, what does the fabric wants to become, or how you feel when you're wearing something. I don't like to follow, again, the seasons or that constant movement, right? So that's why I love what I'm doing, because I don't follow all those rules. I just, if I have a fabric, I just feel the fabric, and I just, actually I was sharing early with some of you that most of my designs come from a meditation. So sometimes I just have the fabric and I don't know what to do, so I just go through a meditation and the design comes. And actually, all this installation came to me in a cacao ceremony. I don't know if you heard about the cacao ceremony, which is just, drink some cacao, especially from Peru, and that helps you to open your heart. So I was in that ceremony and meditating, and all this installation came. So I was like, oh, yes, I can see how all this fabric that we can have in this in a space, just sitting there, how all those fabrics can become something beautiful and meaningful for all of us, and we can, help also our Mother Earth and everything. So, yeah, that is kind of my story.
I have a question.
Yes.
I absolutely love your story. It's just fascinating. I've heard
Thank you.
snippets from Marie, but it's just beautiful to hear the whole. And I'm sure there's even more, right? What is the fabric? It looks like the fabric of like the coat that is in the window there. It looks like it's just not just. It's beautiful, and it looks like the cover when they use the blankets for when you're moving.
Yes,
But then
exactly.
the colors inside are beautiful. Is that what it? Yeah. So.
Because I'm using a lot of recycled materials, I don't know exactly what is it.
Yeah.
But yes, I think it's that kind of fabric that
So
you can
cool.
use just to move things here and there. Yeah.
Which one are you referring
Oh,
to?
I have a sight line.
The one, the colorful inside or the
Yes.
black one? The colorful
Black
inside
outside,
and
color
colorful
inside.
inside.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh,
yes, yes. yes.
okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that one is was a blanket actually.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So cool. I love it.
Yes.
Ali, can you talk about how you source your materials?
Well, I usually go to second-hand stores, but mostly a lot of people just give me fabrics that they don't use anymore. Like that one, the piece that is next to the one that you were talking about, the black one with a kind of accordion sleeves. That was that's coming from a friend who just had a lot of material there, and she was like, this fabric has been here almost 40 years. Do you want to use it? Yes, of course, I can use it. Yeah. So yeah, that one is very special. 40 years old, that fabric.
Vintage.
So
And
yeah.
it's beautiful.
Yes.
Super chic.
So beautiful. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, if you have fabric that you don't want to use anymore, you know where.
Do you have that on your website? Like things that you're the kind of fabric that you want? I mean, 'cause
I don't have that in my website.
You just
Yeah,
call
no,
it.
I don't. Yeah, but I can
Yeah, you can just do
add
it
that.
one off. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
And would you like to tell more about this line of garments because are quite special, I think? Not because I'm wearing it, but you know.
Well, obviously, when you cut fabric, there is a lot of pieces just there, sitting there, and when you're sewing, you know, the serger machine
Oh, that's
who
cool.
has the four threads, that machine wastes a lot of fabric. So I was like, oh my God, what should I do with all of this? And then just start creating that piece of fabric. Which is a tool, and then all the zero waste materials, and another tool, and sewing. And actually, I have a wonderful story to tell you about. Well, it's kind of similar. One of the pieces that is there with all the circles, I don't know if you saw it with the pins and everything. So I was planning to, or I was working in this exhibition. 15 days ago,
Yeah,
something
2
like
weeks
that,
ago.
3 weeks ago.
That was crazy.
It was Sunday. The Oscars were playing, and I was watching the Oscars with my kids. I don't usually watch TV, but I was with my kids, so I was like, yeah, let's watch the Oscars. And I love the Oscars because of the fashion and what they say and everything. So they were talking, this movie and that, the music and dress, etc. So yeah. And they were talking, and one of the movies was Frankenstein. So I was like, oh yeah, I need to watch Frankenstein. Yeah, I'll watch it later. So the Oscars ended, and then I just started watching Frankenstein. And have you seen that movie?
The old one, yeah, not the new one.
The new one
I'm sure you
has
have seen
beautiful fashion.
Costumes, yeah.
No, the fashion was so beautiful.
You
So
gotta watch that.
I got inspired with one of those dresses, and I was like, oh yes, I'm gonna do that. That technique, it's similar to this one, so I'm gonna just do a lot of circles in this kind of fabric. So I got inspired because of Frankenstein. Didn't finish the movie, that was Sunday at night. Didn't finish Monday, I was working the whole day, sewing. Got tired, no, I need to sew. At 7 p.m. I was like, well, I guess it's time just to rest. Went to rest, oh no, I need to finish Frankenstein movie. While I'm finished the Frankenstein movie, I'm gonna cut more circles because I want to make this fabric, and it's inspired through Frankenstein. Well, the movie ended. I was about to go to my bed and go, no, I can just sew a little bit more. Went to my sewing machine, started sewing that, and all of a sudden the machine was the needle was in my finger. So I stabbed myself.
Yeah.
And the day after, she sends me a picture and she says, I might be a little bit delayed. And the picture is one of those pictures that you know when you say tragedy plus time equal comedy?
Yes.
That's that picture. Because it's a picture of Ale with her hand inside the machine with stabbed and inside basically, and there are two doctors looking around, trying to understand how to remove the needle from her finger. So she had to go to the ER with the entire machine. It was insane.
The sewing machine with the fabric right there, my finger. The security guy was like, can you leave the sewing machine there? No, I can't. I leave the sewing machine there. You need to go to security. No, I can't. It's in my finger. So they took me there. All the doctors were there.
You gave them like a
watching.
story for their lifetime. That never happened, I'm sure.
And the funny thing, it was that, that piece was inspired by Frankenstein, so I really think that I too. But how do you say
The cherry on the cake? No.
No. So that
The result, outcome,
yes.
prognosis.
Well, I just want to come, Marina, come, please.
Respect the city.
No, what I wanted to say is that we really need to listen to ourselves. So that day I didn't listen to myself. I was so tired. I really needed to go and rest, but I didn't listen to myself. I just wanted to sew. And that's when that happens. So yeah, we just need to listen.
So I have questions.
Yeah.
So does the fabric dictate the design, or do you have a design in mind?
It's mostly the fabric.
It says what
Sometimes
to do.
yeah, exactly. And then through meditation again, it comes and yeah.
So when you were
So-
when you knew you would have this show, are all of these things new just for this show?
Mhm. Yeah, I didn't know
Because they live together.
what was gonna be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just came. Yeah. So I do work with patterns, but it's mostly, the basic pattern, and then I start cutting, and then cut again, and then do. So it's, so most of the pieces, or all of the pieces, are kind of one of the kind, because they are, they don't have the same exact piece. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So one comment, like, so the day before, I think it was the day before the first Thursday, when Catherine came, was the day before, right?
Oh yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
2 days
2 or
before,
2 days
a few
ago.
days before, we were talking, and Catherine, that they made the makeup for and the hair styling for the opening, when we had a catwalk here, which was fantastic. And we're talking, and at one point talking about the models, and then the specific model was invited to be here. She's very tall, incredibly gorgeous, 6 feet tall woman. And so we're talking about what can she wear, and this is the thing that I think is really wonderful to see Ale actually in the moment, because so we're talking about what can she wear. She's very tall, and we're talking like something, but it's not ready. We don't have it, right? So and she's like, no worry, I can make something like it's in 2 days. And literally, I swear to God, out of nowhere, here she pulls out of this pile of things this what looked like and is actually a mosquito netting from a window with a zipper and holes, like literally a mosquito net from a window. And I'm looking like, what are you doing with this? Yeah. And in 2 seconds, she just wraps it around and becomes a skirt. Like, it was like magic. It was like, bloop. And so like, I'm like, okay, I guess we can do it in 2 days. We'll be fine, you know? But it is really wonderful to see, because I could see the process that you were describing of looking at the material and just like, what do you want to become? You said, what does he want to become? And literally, it was just, you could see it happen, she's just like, and then she just wrapped it all around. And sure enough, the day of the opening, or maybe the day before, she did a couple of tests. This amazing model came, and this kind of piece of mosquito netting with a zipper and holes, like literally the one that you attach, on a, that you would never imagine can become an incredible gown, suddenly is a gown, and it's amazing. Everybody, I don't know if any of you was at the opening, but people were really like, wow, this is amazing gown. And I'm like, well, actually is a, you would not believe, what this is. Just gorgeous. So I think it's really powerful to be able to see that, in action. It was really wonderful.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that if, right now, if there was one of you that wants to be a model, she would be able to do it in 2 seconds. I'm not joking. She can do it so quickly. Like, it's really amazing to watch. Even like this one, she's put it on. It's like, no, I don't like it like that. And I'm doing a terrible job and trying to do what you did to me earlier, but it's really nice. I think that kind of conversation of the artist, it happens for any kind of medium, right? It could be like oil painting or kind of watercolor. In this case, is fiber and fabric. It's just wonderful to see an artist just like understanding the material and then making it happen, and was not forceful. I think that was really wonderful to watch. Brava.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh,
So, yeah.
there's a question there.
When you make things, do you make them from your imagination, or do you work with clients specifically? Does a
I
client
do.
say?
Yeah. I also work with clients. So it's mostly me, but yeah, sometimes I work with a client, and then we fuse, the ideas and the emotions and everything, and we can create something beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us more about that process? Like, how does it work? If you don't know the client, if he's not a friend that you've met before, how would you go about it? Do you spend time to learn about them? How is the process?
Well, I don't know. I actually don't know what is the process, because it comes just like that. It's just seeing the fabric, or just talking a little bit, and then it just comes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And would you like to tell us about the hats? Because when I saw those, I could not believe those. Because I recognize what those are made with, because I have one of those at home.
So how do you call these? Those are like just table mats?
Yes?
Table mats, yeah. Those are table mats, but that doesn't come from me actually. When you are into this, the fashion and everything, then you just, I obviously have Instagram for my business, so in Instagram you receive a lot of those ideas and everything, and a lady was just working with those mats. So yeah, I found them and just start making them, just moving them around, sewing a little bit here and there, and then they become a hat.
Oh my God.
Yeah, when I saw it, I have one of those mats at home in red. I was like, that is like a table mat.
Work with them. Just,
but it's gorgeous.
Make some
yes.
folds and here and there, and it can become a hat.
Or bring it to Ale.
So all the materials for me.
Or bring it to Ale.
No, well, I guess everybody is creative, and everybody can make their own things. And if you have those at home, just play with those materials. Atrévete! Dare to work with them.
I'll show you before and after. It will be comic relief, not style.
Well, I can help you. Yeah.
Any other?
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ale.
To me,
Thank
and
you.
I hope you have a-